What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Season 2 of my NHL 22 Buffalo Sabres Franchise Mode Series. Just want to quickly thank you guys so much for all the support on the first episode. If you wouldn't mind keeping that going and leaving a thumbs up on this one, I would really appreciate it. So, as you guys can see, we're currently 6-0 in the preseason, which is actually a bit of a shock to me. I didn't think this team was going to be that good, but it is only the preseason. Don't want to get, too ahead of ourselves here. Patrice Bergeron averaging almost 2 points a game. He's currently got 11-6. I'll show you guys what the lines are looking like for this season. Bergeron was a guy I didn't expect to sign, but end of July, a 93 overall player still available. Even as a rebuilder, you got to sign him if you have the cap space, right? Kind of like what Buffalo did with Taylor Hall. We could flip him at the deadline if we're not in the playoff contention. Alex Tuch, Dylan Cousins on his wings there, getting a +5. Cousins now at 89. We got Paige Thompson, Andrew Kopp, Kevin Fiala, second line. Pretty solid line, no chemistry boost, but I'm okay with it. Lekin and Middlestat Olsen, not a bad third line. Gauthier, Okposo, and Bjork there on the fourth. Okposo is a winger, but actually has 70 faceoffs, so should do fine there. I think it's also the last year of his contract, so we're going to get $6 million in cap space for next summer. Defensively here, Power Dahlin on the top pair get a +3. Yoki Harju Bryson get a +2. Now, Mikkola Stetcher get a -3, but both of them are basically done growing. At least, Mikkola's got 1 year left there. I'm more concerned with the younger guys in that top four getting the good boost. Goaltending-wise, we got Ukko-Pekka Lekin and Lankin in there as a tandem. Should do solid. In terms of the special teams, we actually get +1 on the second four-man, +5 on the first power play. And I mean, that power play is actually pretty solid. The second one, not quite as good, but actually, pretty decent. PK-wise, +5 in the first, obviously. Big reason for that is Patrice Bergeron there. Even the second one, though, with Kopp and Cousins, isn't that bad. 3-man there, 2 zeros, which for the 3-man is pretty solid. So, again, this team could be a playoff team. I'm kind of a bit worried that we're going to be, in no man's land where we're fighting for a wild card spot. Maybe we just get in, first round exit, or maybe we just miss, which is kind of the worst spot to be. Either you want to be a Stanley Cup contender or, a basement dweller trying to get Conor Bedard. So, we'll kind of play it by ear here. AHL team looks very solid. Peterka, Krebs, Quinn, great first line, gets a +1. Amirov on the second with Picard and Rosen. Olsen there's on the third line, guy that could grow. Kachev's pretty good offensively, but he's done growing. Defense, we got Clegg, Alexei, Johansson, a lot of guys that are probably just going to be AHL studs, nothing more. Samuelson, 78 overall at 22 already, only has BM top 6. I could see him getting up to an 80-81 though, and if we get him on a good contract, maybe a solid bomb pair defenseman for us. Ryan Johnson, really good offensive defenseman here. He's listed as a two-way, but he's got 89 passing. It's a pretty solid shot too, and then of course Simon Nemec there. Really hoping he has a great season in terms of growth. Goalie-wise, AHL, we got Devin Levi, Eric Portillo, plus on top of that, unsigned right now, but our third string goalie would be a high elite we just drafted. So we're definitely good in terms of goaltending. Show you guys the ratings we have to start this season. Again, I'm very curious to see, what happens here. So we've got 91 offense, 87 defense, 83 goaltending. Again, I'm very curious to see where we're at by the trade deadline. Let's get started. And now look at this trade offer, guys. The Arizona Coyotes, Shane Gostisbehere and Marcus Nunavera for Andrew Kopp, a third and a fourth. I feel like this isn't a terrible offer, but I think I'd rather have Kopp. And our defense isn't great, but that's kind of a good thing for us. And I see currently 4-0, or we were 4-0, 5-1 to start the year. All right, guys, so at the end of December here, kind of what we expected. 15, 15-2. We're an average team. Not great, not terrible. Bergeron averaging a point per game. Currently 6th in the division. Canadians 1 point behind. I mean, the Red Wings are only 3 behind us, but I see that we've actually got 4 games in hand there. So hopefully don't do too well. Then we're definitely going to be selling hard at the deadline. I feel like usually you can get better returns at the deadline because teams are more willing to give up their picks and prospects when they're sure they're going to be a playoff team. AHL-wise, Krebs, almost a point per game. But we're not doing very good. I don't know what's up with the AHL team. 33 points there. What the heck? Pretty good forwards. I guess, forwards could be better. Defense is pretty solid. Goaltending's pretty solid. Yeah, kind of a weird one. And now look at this trade offer, guys. Ryan Ellis in a fifth for Kopp, a third and a fourth. I'm just curious what Ellis' rating is, because this is actually, pretty decent. 86 overall, he's higher rated. Now he's 32, Kopp's 28, so 4 years younger. He's got 30 points right now in 42 games, which is pretty good for a second liner. This is a decent hockey trade, but I feel like we kind of have our top pair. We have guys coming up. I think I'm going to reject it again, but honestly, a very fair offer from Philly. And so we're at the trade deadline now, guys, so a pretty solid record. 31, 22, and 8. Even if you count the OT losses as losses, we're actually positive. I think, all those OT losses makes our record look a little bit better. Literally 2 points back or 1 win back of a wildcard spot with a game in hand. Now, we've played really well the past couple weeks. You can see before we lost back-to-back games against Nashville and Arizona, we had won 7 of 8 games. That's incredible. Wow, this puts us in such a tough spot. I did not want to be, making these tough decisions. Bergeron there averaging over a point per game. AHL-wise, Krebs, 52 and 64 is solid, but the AHL team is still not doing that great. 65 points, which I guess isn't terrible either. They're, about a 500 team. And I just found something kind of interesting, guys. It looks like Buffalo's AHL team's in the West, while our team's in the East. And in the other division, we're actually tied with the Islanders, who are second in their division. So I guess our North division there is just stacked. But we'll get to the trade deadline here. I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh. I'm going to say we're conservative seller, because if it wasn't for that kind of crazy run we had, we're not in the playoff spot. I'm thinking if we get the right deal for Bergeron, if we can get back a huge haul, we have to pull the trigger. I mean, our assistant GM there has him on the block. He's the number one player on the block. Fleury, Fiala's on the block too, so they consider us, a seller. Horvat, Campbell, Perron, Varlamov, Nedeljkovic, Oshie, Gostisbehere. Fiala we could trade. He's a pending UFA. And we didn't really give up that much for him. I think it was, a second, a third, and his name is escaping me, Asplund, right? So, okay, let's see if we can make some magic happen here and make some good moves. Alright guys, so while looking through the teams, I saw the Edmonton Oilers have Frank Nazar on the block. I don't know why. Such a good prospect. 1972 medium elite. Having a solid year in the AHL. He's got 50 points, 63 games. You guys got tons of X factors there. Good two-way player. I noticed too, both McDavid and Draisaitl are now up to 97s, and yet somehow they're 500 on the year. So I'm swinging for the fences here, guys, trying to get Nazar for Bergeron. Nazar's on the block. Bergeron has about the same amount of value. I have to take back Keith for the salary, but luckily he doesn't really have that much. I'm hoping they're trying to, make a playoff push here, and they want to get Nazar. It's kind of funny, look at our record compared to theirs, and we're the ones selling. But the thing with Bergeron is, too, he's 37, so even if we want to keep him, there's a chance he retires, and then we just kind of lose him for nothing. It doesn't make sense if you can get a great prospect. Let's see what they say. Wow. They're saying yes to that. That is such a huge trade for us. Alright guys, so since we traded Patrice Bergeron, I feel like we're going full sell mode here. No way we make the playoffs without him. Trying to get Zellweger here from the Anaheim Ducks. Solid defensive prospect, 1970 medium top 4. Derek Grant is just there for the roster spot because Zellweger still in juniors. Now they want Mikkola here, 2682. I don't really mind, getting rid of his contract or whatever. The value is a bit on their side, but because they want Mikkola, maybe they say yes. Trades rejected. Saving salary, resign guys. Maybe they'll take Troy Stetcher since he's got a little bit less contract. And we could add, a third-round pick. There's no way we get somebody as good as Zellweger the third. Trade accepted. Okay, I like that. And I almost forgot, guys, but look at this. Trevor Zegras is now 92 overall with low franchise potential. How insane is that? The next player I was looking at, though, is on the Calgary Flames. They got Matt Coronado on the block, 2073 medium top 6. Pretty solid AHL numbers there, 43 points, lots of goals. Usually seems to grow. So I've already got an offer made up here. Mikkola Portillo. It looks like that's actually too much. Okay, so, wow, Mikkola 1-for-1 potentially for Coronado. Wow, okay, that's a steal. Obviously, we signed Mikkola for, I thought, a pretty decent contract, but wow. I feel like we made up pretty well this trade deadline. Definitely, building this team for the future. I'm trying to make one more trade here, guys, in the dying minutes. Fabian Lysel's on the block. Really solid prospect. Would love to add him to the team. Gonna try and flip Duncan Keith here, 50%. We obviously don't need him. Adding our Terry Lekin in there, solid bomb 6 forward. Portillo, we have so many good goalie prospects. Why not try and use him? Get back Lysel. See what they say here. Also a 4th rounder. Wow, so trade goes through. What a deadline. Obviously, we were fighting for a playoff spot there. I'm sure the boys in the room are going to be a bit upset that we ended up being sellers opposed to buyers. But hopefully they understand. We're trying to build a dynasty here, not have one fluke cup run where we get, potentially outed in the first round. Trade deadline is now complete. Obviously, our trade there was last. Edmonton also got Del Zotto, and they gave up Dylan Holloway and a second for him and Stepan. Are you kidding me? That is, wow. I thought we fleeced Edmonton. Ottawa there, though, just stole Holloway for nothing. Tyson Forster to the Blues. A couple of our trade. Jack Rathbone there, the Coyotes. I feel like they made up pretty well with a second for 2/3 Gaudette. Lots of picks being moved. Derek Brassard, along with Mark Borovetsky. I hope I said that right. I remember finding out his name's pronounced really strange. And Michael Raffle. Bach there to the Sharks. Ty Nelson to the Senators. They get a good defensive prospect. Jonathan Duran to the Flyers. More picks. Gavrikov to the Capitals. Our trade there for Nazar. Dermott to the Hurricanes. Gunler to the Canucks. Okay. Let's see. Hosang to the Bruins. Fleury back to Minnesota. Zub to the Kings. Nedeljkovic there to the Maple Leafs. Why is Detroit doing that? And then finally you got Donskoy to the Rangers in exchange for Mintikov, who's actually a solid defensive prospect. I think they also got Susie there. Gabe Carlson. 2 years left at $1 million. 26, 78. Oh, wow. So, yeah, he busted. 1 year left to grow. I'm just going to decline. I feel like we got enough defensive players. And look at this, guys. Apparently, some game got played during the trade deadline because we're still at 70 points. If you remember, we were 1 win back of a playoff spot, but now we're 2 wins back. Hurricanes have 74, unless I'm misremembering. So, yeah, like, we obviously could have fought, but Devils, Hurricanes got the lead on us. I'd rather get all those prospects we did. I feel like that was just a better move long term. So after the trade deadline, guys, here's an updated look at the lines. We're actually still, like, not a terrible team. First line here, you got Fiala, Cousins, and Tuck in a +3. Second line, you got Thompson, Kopp, and Olofsson. So, like, honestly, a solid top 6. Even the bottom 6 isn't really terrible. Ristolainen, Middlestat, Gauthier, Okposo, Grant, and Bjork. Grant's actually kind of like the 4th line center we needed, which is kind of funny. Defensively, Power, Dahlin still top pair, Yoki Harju, Bryce in second. And the bottom pair is now Samuelson, Clegg. No chemistry boost. And if you remember, the guys before were 82-81, getting a -3. So it actually works out to be about the same. But obviously, we traded our bottom D pair for a couple nice prospects. Ukko-Pekka in there is now an 84. Thought you guys might want to see that. Special teams-wise, not terrible. Still get a +5 on the first power play. Power's actually now on it. PK still have a +5 on the first one. 3-man's actually a +2 now on the first. So kind of crazy how it worked out. AHL-wise, I think they look even better. So first line, no change. Second line there, you got Coronado and Nazar playing with Isaac Rosen. Third line, you got Olesen and Amirov on the wings. Now in terms of the defense, luckily we had Laxonen and Fitzgerald both scratched. They're 75 overall, so like, you know, they're decent kind of filling guys. So we got Johnson, Nemec on the bottom pair. Goalies, Levi's starting. We got this 58 backing him up. Hopefully he doesn't play too much. I would love if the AHL team can make the playoffs. I know that's probably not going to happen. And obviously for the NHL team, I'm hoping they finish as bad as possible and we can get either Bedard or Michkov. Alright guys, so it's now the end of the regular season. We have a record of 39, 35, and 8. There was a brief moment, I think it was like this week here. We had a couple wins against the Devils and the Panthers. We had the 8th and final wildcard spot in the East, and then it immediately went away after we lost 4 straight games. Beat the Capitals. We then lost, I think, the next 4 straight again. So, you know, team didn't do great, but still 86 points on the year isn't terrible. You can see the last wildcard spot in the East was the Penguins there with 93. We're 7 back. We don't trade away our guys. Maybe we squeak in, but again, you got all those teams there putting up 100+. I don't think we compete with them. AHL-wise, 44, 30, and 8, so they really came alive after the deadline. 96 points, though, for that team was only good enough for a wildcard spot because our division there is so crazy. And I just remembered, guys, in the AHL, it's the top 4 teams in each division that make it. So, pretty dumb when you have the Islanders there with 81 points, making it over the 94-point Senators, or even 87-point Crunch. Wow, like, that is probably why we missed last year, because our division is just so stacked. So, take a look here and see our leading scorer. Dylan Cousins, almost a point per game. Obviously, love seeing that. AHL-wise, Krebs, 67 is pretty solid. He's got to be making the NHL team next year. He's probably going to be on the 3rd line. Cousins there's up to a 91 now. Oh my, definitely going to be asking for some money. Fiala, 77, also going to be wanting some money. That's a good season from him. Kopp, 76. He's 85 overall. He's got to go up to at least an 86, maybe even 87. Like, that's a huge year for him. Paige Thompson, 67. You got to think he's up to an 85. Olsen, 64. Could also see him getting 85. Dahlin, 62. Big year for him. I actually forgot to show you guys, but he's like our highest trade value player by far. Alex Tuck there, 61 points. So, I mean, we had 7 guys there with 60+ points. That's really impressive. I feel like next year we're competing for sure. I feel like next year we're a playoff team for sure, especially if we bring in, you know, a couple nice free agents or have, you know, or even have some prospects who could grow a ton. Middlestat, 32. Don't like seeing that. Might be trading him away. 1 year left at 2.5. Even Power there. Playing top pair with Dahlin, you'd expect him to have more than 24 points. Let's see, Yoki Harju there, Bryson. I mean, kind of the rest of the guys not playing too much. Goaltending-wise, Ukko-Pekka Lekkinen, .897, 3.34. Would like better stats than that. Lankinen as well. Could have been better. Check out the AHL teams after Krebs and Nazar there, 66. I mean, I'll take that. Jack Quinn, 64, 37 goals. Paterka almost 60. Same with Coronado. Amirov there, 1 below a 50. So the prospects, you know, played pretty good for the most part. Goalie-wise, Levi, .915, 2.5. He'll definitely be growing, of course, with that medium league potential. So take a look at the entire NHL next year. You got to think probably one of the 97s on the Oilers leading the scoring. Nylander, wow, so they're Maple Leaf, but not Marner. Patty Kane at 34, still killing it. McDavid there was 3rd. Matthews, another Leaf. Draisaitl. Jason Robertson, 108. He's up to a 91. You signed a new contract. 7.5 for 5 years for 91 is really good. Marner, Connor, Kaprizov there. Take a look at goals here. Austin Matthews wins Maurice Richard. Defensive scoring, Adam Fox, 90. Probably going to win the Norris there because he's got plus 23, which is solid. Riley plus 38, but he's 18 points behind, so I don't think it'll be enough. Rookie skaters, Matty Benier, 71 points. Probably taking on the Calder. You got Gunther, McTavish, Eklund, a lot of the guys you kind of expect to see here. Goalie stat-wise, John Gibson. Again, I can't believe the Ducks are doing so well. Save percentage, Hellebuck, .918. And best goals against River Stars, actually Peter Mrazek on the least there with 2.62. Interesting. Okay, so looking at the standings, like I said, we were definitely, going to be close to a playoff team. We didn't trade away our guys. Yet the Maple Leafs win the President's Trophy. 6 teams there with 100+. I think I saw Ottawa, 91 points, missed the playoffs as the 13th best team in the NHL. Hate to see that. Where were we? So we were 20th best team, 86, tied with Edmonton and Calgary, the 2 Alberta teams. That's not too bad. Again, with a bit of a collapse after the deadline, which we kind of expected. Columbus and Vancouver there, both 65. Interesting. Goals for, we're not at the top. Norway at the bottom, so we're in the middle somewhere. Goals against, we're not at the top. We actually had a lot of goals against. But I mean, our defense wasn't that great. Ukpekalekin is still only an 84, so we kind of know what we have to upgrade. It's the defense, it's the goaltending. But we'll get started with the AHL sim here, guys. I'm curious to see if this team can maybe go on a run. Obviously, really great for our prospects' growth, or at least it should be. I'm not sure how much that actually, plays a factor. But we got Laval here in the first round. Let's see how we do against them. First game's a loss. Send the whole series here. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Lost the first 2, came back, won the next 3. Next year we got Utica round 2. Come on. 1-1, and it actually beat us in 5. Not good, but I mean, at least we make the playoffs this year. We'll take that. So I'll send the rest of the playoffs for you guys and then get to the draft. And check this out, guys. The New Jersey Devils are Stanley Cup champions, and the Milwaukee Admirals are Calder Cup champions. Even without a fancy draft and me as their GM, they still find a way to get it done. That's pretty funny. But the Devils is a bit of a shocker. I know they won the Stanley Cup, and I think like the video I did, we were trying to buy a Stanley Cup. I didn't expect them to be so good. Arizona there jumps from 6-1. Did they not also jump from like 9-1 to get Shane Wright last year? Are you kidding me? So Arizona's going to have Wright and Bedard? That's not even fair. Vancouver 2, they're looking at Michkov. We're picking 13. Luckily, we got a bunch of good prospects back in our trade. I don't want to be 13. I want it to be top 5 because like 3 can get Fantilli, 4 can get Theo Lindstein. 13, I don't know what we're getting. I mean, we can try and move up, but going to cost us probably like a lot more than we're going to want to give up. But we'll take a look at the playoff tree here, guys, then the awards. The Devils there beat the Flyers in 5, Hurricanes in 6, Panthers in 6, and the Golden Knights in 5. Eichel almost won a cup. Luckily, Devils stopped them, so we can still, beat Eichel to the cup here. President's Trophy, of course, Toronto Maple Leafs. Individual awards, Nylander, Art Ross, and the Hart. That's kind of crazy. Marner won it the year before. Fox there, 3rd straight James Norris. You kidding me? Nylander, Lady Bing, Beniers, Calder, Hughes, Conn Smythe. Hellebuck got the Vezina. Nelojevic there, though, got the William Jennings on the Leafs. Tanev, Bill Masterton. LA coach Jack Adams. Crosby, Selke. Okay, kind of cool. Nylander, Ted Lindsay. And then Matthews there, Maurice Richard. So big year for the Leafs in terms of individual success. Calder Cup, Milwaukee Admirals. That is so funny to see. I don't think we got any team award because, yeah, we're just a wildcard team. Marco Rossi, most points in the AHL. That's pretty cool. Also got MVP. For his back at Carlson, most goals. Semkin here, best rookie. The dude does not look like a rookie at all. Interesting, okay. Muka Muldin, best defenseman. Wallstedt, best goalie. Askarov there, MVP of the playoffs. Beckman, sportsmanship. Karate there, community involvement. And then Copley, lowest goals against. And I just found Semkin here, guys, on the Syracuse Crunch. Dude's 23, winning Rookie of the Year in the AHL. And I mean, he had 63 points, so fair play to him. 2018 third-round pick by the Lightning, who with 79 passing was able to put up 49 assists. Like, that's insane. Also, guys, if you're curious, Isaac Rosen there was our playoff scoring leader with 9 points, 10 games. Not too bad. So, I'll get to retired players. Imagine Bergeron retired. How great of a move that would have been. So, he did not retire. Spezza, though, does. As a Vancouver Canuck, Louis Eriksson there, Keith Yandel, Weber, Kessler, Ladd. Real life, if Weber retires, Montreal and Nashville are screwed. I think it's mostly Nashville that gets screwed. Looking at goalies next here, Ben Bishop, which makes sense. I already kind of LTI retired him. I made him like a 65 with no cap hit. So, yeah, the draft, obviously, was really hoping to get Bedard or Michkov. I don't think I've gotten either of them this year. I always seem to make the team too good for the second season, thinking we're still going to play bad for some reason, and that's just never the case. But we'll see kind of who's available here. You never know. Could be like a gem. I mean, the Canucks have number 2 on the block. I don't know why, what they're thinking, but could take advantage of that. So, looking at the draft class, are you kidding me? Michkov could go 1, Bedard could go 2. Okay, we're going hard at the Canucks number 2 pick. Fantilli 3, Foligno here made up at 4. You got Jaeger 5, Quinn Musty 6. Forgot about those 2 guys who are solid. Lindstein 7. and then it kind of drops off there. Ethan Medema here on the Windsor Spitfires, they have at 11, but I know for a fact he's medium top 6. Maybe he had some really good junior sims though, and kind of higher rated. Benson there, I believe, also medium top 6. Same with Danielson there, and that's kind of the spot we're picking. So yeah, if we could somehow get the Canucks second, I'm willing to give up almost anything for it, honestly. I mean, it's meant to be, I think. Bedard, although he is from Vancouver, I believe, so I know the Canucks fans are going to be pissed if I make the trade, but blame the Vancouver GM for putting his pick on the block. Walsh there, 52, doesn't look too bad as a gem. And there's actually a lot of guaranteed medium elites in this draft, like Erickson and Glennie there as well. And look at this, guys. Beachcott just went first overall. We got 3 minutes here to get the Canucks second overall pick. We want Connor Bedard. Not messing around. We got to make a big trade, a big splash. I mean, Fabian Lysell plays for the Vancouver Giants, so maybe they would like to have him, although actually not on their block. Casey Middlestat is, though. Could do that. Victor Olofsson down to an 83. Could do him. We're actually shedding 7 million in cap. Plus 13th overall. Middlestat, Olofsson, 13th overall for the second overall, which for some reason does not have a lot of value. Did they just not hear about Connor Bedard literally in their backyard? Let's see what they say. Trade rejected, as it should be. I'm willing to give up, let's see, 45 as well. I mean, definitely worth it. Trade accepted. Are you kidding me? I was actually about to give up our first round pick next year too. The Canucks give up Connor Bedard for 13th overall, a second rounder, Casey Middlestat and Fabian Lysell. That was on hard trade difficulty. Some people are going to hate that, but we are about to build the best dynasty ever. Connor Bedard, come on down. Same rating and potential as Michkov. Are you kidding me? I just want to show you guys now what this team is looking like. Oh my goodness. I said how Dunley had the most trade value. It actually dropped from 91 to 90 for some reason, so it's not as high. Look at Bedard there. I mean, our center depth, guys. Bedard, Cousins, Nazar, Savoy. Andrew Kopp, Peyton Krebs. Are you kidding me? I mean, obviously, we're probably going to move, Cousins, Nazar to the wing. Wow. This team is going to be a dynasty for sure. And so I just said to pick number 58, guys. I'm going to show you the rest of the first round. Fantilli there went 3rd overall, as you'd expect. Foligno, 82 medium elite, some made-up guy. Then Jaeger, Lindstein, Musty. Surprised Detroit went Lindstein there over Musty, 7 overall lower. Erickson there, another made-up guy. So the Canucks pick, I mean, fair play to them. They did get a medium elite there at 13, but 64 overall opposed to an 82 franchise Connor Bedard. I mean, yeah, we made out so well. So let's see here who we can get. Alright guys, so I'm looking at my pins right now, and there's really no one I like at 58. The next best player is 99, so might actually trade back. Alright guys, so I figured why not go back to the Canucks, offering them 58 for a 3rd next year, 2 4ths this year, 97, 99. I feel like this is decent value. Trades rejected, okay. I mean, I'm trying to think. I do like a lot of the players, in the 90s. We kind of stole Bedard. This is probably a bad trade. I'm basically doing them a solid because I don't have anyone I like. And with that, they actually get this goalie here in Jasu, medium starter. Okay, so again, I feel like I helped them out, after they helped us out getting Connor Bedard. Oh no, did that guy at 99 go away? He did. So Spencer here could be low top 6, kind of like 50-50 there. 51 low elite. Okay, love that. Wilson there, AHL by the Capitals. What are they doing? And honestly, guys, I think with this next pick, I'm going to take Jonsu, who could be a medium starter goalie. Although there's this one here could also be medium starter. That's not going till 340. So maybe take the guaranteed low top 4 defenseman. 54 overall, but low top 4 4th round is like pretty solid. And we have another 4th round pick here. So I'm thinking, again, because we have the other goalie at 340, let's take Ellis. Could be low elite. And he's low top 6, 52. That's not terrible at all. 4 4th round picks here. I actually didn't realize we had so many. So at this point, might as well take the goalie. And medium fringe starter, alright. And now in the 5th round here, this is way too early to take this goalie. So looking for kind of best value. Lots of guys who could be medium elites. Even though it's a bit of a reach, I'm going to try taking this Dennis Corvo guy. Could be medium top 6. And he's a medium bottom 6. What are you going to do? Next pick here in the 6th round. Honestly, I might just take the goalie we like. Even though he's 340. They're just he's the best guy available. Medium backup, alright. So we'll get to, I think we have, I'm not sure if we have 1 or 2 7s, but we're swinging for the fences here. Nicholas Coe. He might be medium elite, medium 7th, and that's it for our draft. So, obviously, we could have made 1 pick in Connor Bedard, and I'd have been happy, and I feel like we actually, had a pretty decent draft afterwards. And the fact we got Bedard, we're also kind of shedding cap space. Like, Olofsson was making 5.5 down to an 83. Middle stats been pretty meh, making 2.5. Just incredible. Wow, check this out, guys. At the start of the Resign Phase, we have almost 50 million in cap space. Now, do have some pretty big name players to resign in Cousins, Fiala, and Thompson. Want to make sure we get them under contract. So Cousins wants the same amount he wanted actually at the start of the year. So 12.5 for 6 years. We got 8 years left in this franchise. What if we just get him for the rest of the 8 years? Because I plan on keeping him. Maybe not. 13.9 is a lot more than 12.5. And I feel like even in the last 2 years, probably won't be that expensive. Let's start out at like 11 million. I mean, he's a franchise #1 center. 11 million bucks makes sense. Fiala's played well for us. He wants 9. Crap. That's a lot of money for an 88. Paige Thompson there is 85. He went up by 1. He wants 7 too. I think we play ball with him. Luckily, I think we play hardball with him. Luckily, he's an RFA. Fiala, I'd like to keep 2. Power there, 84. Paterka, Bedard, obviously, not going to disrespect him. Max rookie contract there. Krebs, Bryson, Kyle Posto's an 80. Could be a decent fourth line forward. He's a veteran guy. Let's do 1 year, $1 million bucks. Have him as a fourth line winger. Yoki Harju, I wouldn't mind trading away. 24.79. Although, what does our defensive situation look like? I feel like we need to bring in some guys. Yeah, we have 3 guys there, 80 plus. I mean, you got to think Nemec probably gets a big growth. He's already a 76 now, medium elite. That would definitely help out the D. Look back to Lekin there at 85 now. Lankinen down to 81. Luckily, he's just the backup. Harrington here, the high elite, I'm going to sign. I want him to be the AHL backup. And Julien Gauthier here, down to a 78 now after being an 80. I thought he had a decent season, honestly. I'm just going to qualify him. Same with Anders Bjork there, of course, back from the Taylor Hall trade. Derek Grant wants $1 million bucks at 78. That's not going to happen, especially we got Nazar there at 77. Now, Savoy's also now 77. I think I'd probably keep him in junior for 1 more year. Because, yeah, 77's not making our team. Like, we actually have a really solid team. And now look at Samuelson here, guys. 23 years old, 78 overall, medium top 6. Like I was saying, he could get up to an 80. 8-year contract, $900K. Again, this is a steal. He gets up to an 80. Like, that's such a good value. Kind of 6 defenseman for us. I mean, Yoki Hart just went overall higher, making a ton more money. Alexei, 23.77. Still got low top 4. Kind of do like a similar thing. 3 years here. If he does grow, it looks good for us. Laxinen, 23.77. Could also give him like a 3-year deal. Again, these are just kind of solid HL defensemen probably. Kyle Poster rejected. Not content with the amount of minutes he played last season. I mean, 35-year-old. I feel like he's a bottom 6 veteran. Cousins there wants more money. Now it's just going to be all the AHL guys accepting their offers. Bedard, though, obviously, is a big one. Alright, so we still have 50 million in cap space. We can't be too cheap. Let's try 11.5 for Cousin on 6 years. Should say yes, I think. Now, Fiala's 26. I'm thinking with all the good prospects we have in the next 4 years, somebody probably catches up to him. Let's try like an 8.5 4-year deal. And then, you know, once like we do have prospects catch up to him, we could probably trade him when he hits 30. Paige Thompson, though, was asking for way too much money. I think it's an 85. Gotta hold out on him. Cousins said no to getting offered $1 million less on a $12.5 million deal. Seems quite fair. Fiala, though, did say yes. So we'll try $12 million now on Cousins at 6 years. He better say yes. And there you go, guys. Cousins finally accepted his offer. So one thing I noticed that's kind of crazy, I didn't mean to do this at all, but look at how many players we have making over entry-level deals. I think 7 players there, not including the goalies. Look back collecting, of course, 5.5, but I think that's a good long-term deal. So $30 million to spend. Obviously, Thompson still needs a deal. I feel like we can probably settle on something around $5 million for him. So we got $25 million to spend in free agency. Should save, I think, $4 million at least for Dahlin for next year. He'll probably go up to $10 million, but again, like that's $20 million to spend. Pretty good spot to be in. And now, guys, we're finally at free agency here. Very curious to see who's available. Who can we spend some money on? Alex DeBrincat. Wow, I don't think he's usually here. Now, he's an RFA, so it'll cost us first-round picks. Not worth it. I see Malkin down there. Bergeron's a free agent. So, who was it? Edmonton gave up Nazar for him and then couldn't even resign him. That is some bad asset management. Philip Forsberg there, we wanted. That's right, he signed the 1-year deal. The Islanders lost him after the 1 year. O'Reilly, Kaloran, Trevor Moore now at 87, wants $11 million. He popped off. Are you kidding me? 83 points this year, 65 the year before. Even that 65-point year, I think he was only an 82, so good for him. That's kind of crazy growth. Gostisbehere there's up to an 87 as well. Tarasenko, 31 years old. A 1-year deal on him could be really good value there. $6 million bucks. Bo Horvat, also be kind of like a really good player, I think, for that money. Dunn was expensive, though. Sean Monahan, Paige Thompson, of course, our guy. Even Severson, 5.2 for 84 is not the worst. Jonathan Toews, 84 overall, 3.5. He'd also be like a really good third line center. Wow, definitely have some options here. And this is kind of weird here. Riley Smith, 83 overall, what, $7.5 million, so triple all these other 83s? Like, I don't get that. I guess big year last year, 63 points, but still. Checking out goalies here out of curiosity. Fleury's the top one. Campbell, Jari, Iljevic, who just won the William Jennings Trophy. Varlamov there, 84 wants 1.1. I kind of want to do that. Trade away Lankinen for like anything we can. Let's do 1 year there at like 1.2. Also check 2A goalies here just out of curiosity. We probably don't need anyone. Ian Scott, because yeah, I want Levi to start. And below him you got Joel Hofer, 22.78. Like, that's a solid goalie. What is St. Louis doing letting him go to free agency? Like, I don't get it. Normally I'd sign these two guys, but we got Levi, AHL starter, and I'd like that highly to be the backup, get some ice time, so I'll just let some other teams sign those guys, but that's just such a weird one to me. Vesalainen, no way. UFA, 24.78. Yeah, let's get him signed. An 8-year deal, or a 7-year deal, 900K. If there's any chance he grows, like, that's so sick. Even Cole Lind here, 24.79, medium top 6. I can't believe, like, teams aren't, you know, keeping these guys, giving them a chance. I'll do a 3-year, $1 million deal on Cole Lind. I think that's good value. And now, starting by rating here, Dmitry Kulikov could get 80 overall defenseman for no money. We actually do need somebody to play bottom pair for us. Let's try 900K for him. That's a steal. Mason Appleton could be a solid 4th line forward. Let's do 1 year, like 950K. Anderson, same thing, 24 and growing. Do like 3 years on him for $1 million. We honestly might not need him for that long. Let's try 2 years, 900K. Bemstrom was an AHL All-Star before, so I wouldn't mind giving him a contract. Do like 3 years here, 900K. Even like Kurashev and Sokolov here, 23.79, low top 6. The thing is, they're not really 4th line forwards, and then they're not going to take ice time from the young guys, which means they're like 4th line AHL, so probably honestly not even worth it. And now looking at Condre Miller here, guys, I'm curious what the price would be on him. They keep him in the 4s. Is that around a 2nd round pick, I think? Like 4.5 for 5 years. And now next year, guys, I'm trying to get our 2nd round pick back from the Minnesota Wild to make an offer sheet on Condre Miller. I'm offering up our 2nd round pick the year after, plus Lankinen, who's a backup goalie they want. See what they say here. Trades accepted. Okay, so that worked out well. And I actually wanted to show you guys. I was looking through the teams trying to find, you know, who had our pick. The Coyotes are ridiculous. Back-to-back first overall picks. They got Michkov and Wright. Gunther's a 90 overall already at 20. He never grew that high for me on our fantasy franchise. Like, I don't know how he grows so much for the Coyotes. They also got Logan Cooley for the Montreal pick, 5th overall. Keller's an 88 now. Trocheck, Chicker in their 87s. Like, they might be the dynasty in the West for the next 10 years who we're constantly matching up with in the Stanley Cup final. And so right now, guys, I'm offering Condre Miller 4.6 for the next 6 years, which I think's the max. Oh, shoot. Okay. 4.5. It's like the max for a 2nd rounder. He should say yes. Basically, it'll come down to whether or not the Rangers match. Now, looking at forwards, DeBrincat, I'm not giving up 4 first rounders for. Trevor Moore, I'm not paying $11 million. Kaloran, I'm not paying almost 10. I would still like Forsberg. I think I mentioned to you guys the best value that I saw here was Tarasenko, $6 million for 87. Good sniper. 2 years is cheaper than 1 year. Okay. Let's do 2 years, so he's 33. Let's offer him 6.5. We could also bring back Bergeron, which would be like the funniest thing ever. The fact we got Nazar for him. Now, speaking of the Coyotes, guys, I'm going to try and trade them Yoki Harju. They want him. Trying to get back a 4th and a 6th. Neither from their team, because I feel like they're going to be pretty good next year. We'll see. Trade accepted. Okay, so that's saved, I think, $2.5 million in cap space, which might help us out. We'll start advancing the day here. See which players we get. Max Domi, Maggio, Bjork a 3rd. Not a terrible offer, but Domi's making a bit too much money for me. Radek Faksa, again, not terrible. I feel like we can get, you know, better depth players for cheap. Vesalainen there, accepted that big long-term deal. Worst case, AHL All-Star. Appleton should be on the 4th line. Bemstrom will be somewhere. Same with Anderson. Kulikov, I think that's a great deal for a depth defenseman. Varlamov, our new backup. Condre Miller accepted as of now. Cole Lind accepted. So I think the AHL team should be a super team. Tarasenko accepted. There we go. And let's see. Condre Miller, Rangers chose not to match. So that's a big piece for our team. Younger defenseman. Between him, Bryson, Power, Dahlin, Nemec, and Johnson, like that might be the top 6 for the next 5 years at least. And I might make another offer sheet here, guys, on Cal Foote, 24.82, wants 2.2 for 2 years. That'll cost us a 3rd round pick. I don't mind that at all. I think, you know, he's a pretty solid player. 3 years, I feel like he still says yes. 2.3. Let's see what the Lightning say. And what's kind of crazy, guys, is after a week, all these top-rated players are still available. I think because they're asking for too much money. A lot of them are older and whatnot, so I'm just going to keep waiting. Jonathan Toews, I did mention, would be a kind of crazy third-line center for us, which is how good he is defensively. Kind of like a cheaper Bergeron, not going to score as much, but also cost half as much, so offer him a 1-year deal. And Edmonton here, for some reason, wants Bjork and a 7th for a 5th. I didn't even realize Bjork was making 1.6. That's kind of expensive for like a 79. I'm saying yes. And there we go, Jonathan Toews joining the team. Cal Foot accepted as of now. Okay, Washington here wants to give us a 3rd rounder for 2 fourths to Kachev. Kachev's just like an extra AHL guy. I mean, 2 fourths for a 3rd. I feel like, let's see, if they'll do a 4th, a 5th in Kachev, I'm down. So let's try a 5th there, 2025. Trade rejected. Honestly, I think I'm willing to do it, go. We've had pretty good luck in the 3rd round. And Tampa Bay Lightning there, not willing to match your offer sheet to Cal Foot. So having cap space has been, quite nice for us. Obviously, Tampa lost Killorn there, so yeah, they were strapped for cash. I'm going to assume to the end of July, probably try and work out the Paige Thompson deal at that point, and then see what other free agents are still available, and hopefully at much cheaper prices. Now look at this, guys. Last day in July, Malkin, Bergeron, O'Reilly, and Radulov all still there. Radulov, 3.8 for an 86 is actually quite cheap, but we got to get Paige Thompson signed, 25. Obviously, I want to keep some of the original Buffalo players. 5 years till he's 30. I was saying around $5 million. I feel like let's do 5.5. He probably says yes to that. I think that's quite a fair offer. We'll still have $14 million after that, so I wouldn't mind a 1-year deal for some of these vets. We could actually get 2 vets, like 2 of these all-star vets. We could get Malkin and Bergeron. We could get Bergeron O'Reilly with Toews, just have the best 2-way forwards ever, since that might help make up for our defense, which isn't that great. I think defensively, yeah, you got Dumoulin there, Shattenkirk. Kind of a lot of money, I think, for 83s. Obviously, Bergeron was playing great with us. He got us Frank Nazar. I'm offering him 6.5 for 1 year. If he wants to come back, let's do it. O'Reilly there wants 3. I did say I wanted 1-year deals. I'll do Malkin, same thing, 6.5 for 1. If this happens, like, it's just insane. I know people are gonna say unrealistic and stuff, but like, you gotta work with what the game's giving you. Maggio and 2.6 for a 3rd. That's actually such a good value, but if Maggio wasn't one of my favorite Spitfires, a low top 9 and 2.6 for a 3rd is ridiculous value. I would say yes to that like every day of the week, but luckily for Montreal fans he is. Bergeron there. I feel like he'd be competing for minutes with too many players. Goes with LA. I guess he was salty about us, trading away at the deadline. Paige Thompson though said yes. Malkin goes with LA as well. Are you kidding me? So kind of like Parise Suter, Bergeron, Malkin join the same team. They say no to us and go to LA. Wow. I want to see Ryan O'Reilly still available. Former Buffalo Sabre. Maybe it's meant to be. I wasn't even thinking about that. Could do 2 years, 7.5. I'm trying to think like guys that need new deals. Dahlin, of course. We could probably make this work. And his rating usually stays pretty good. So let's try 2 years, 7.5. We'll still have $7.5 million in cap space, and that'll just literally be extra money to use at the trade deadline. Very curious to see if O'Reilly comes back. Would be kind of cool, and we'd have both parts of the trade. Thomas Hertl to Philly with a 3rd. Ellis in a 2nd to San Jose. That's a big trade there in the summer. Come on, O'Reilly. I don't want Nick Paul. There we go. Ryan O'Reilly comes back to Buffalo. Still have Paige Thompson as part of that trade. Plus we have Tarasenko. We can have both of them reunited on our team. This team's going to be a lot of fun to watch, I think, next year. As for down the fall here, guys, I'm trying to trade 2 extra players of ours. Ristolainen doesn't really fit anywhere. 25, 77, medium top 9. Even like the AHL, he's just kind of not good enough. Lucas Johansson there, basically looking like a bust. I'd rather give his ice time to younger players. And we can get a 4th round pick from Winnipeg for these 2. That'd be great. Trades rejected. Okay, maybe we're asking for a little bit too much. We'll try a 6th if they say no. 7th should go through. Okay, so get the 6th round pick. Show you guys the lines next here. Very excited, like I said, to see how this team is going to do. So first line, you got Fiala, Cousins, and Connor Bedard getting a +5. I'm really hoping Bedard here can win that Calder Trophy, playing with some great players. Also getting that boost. Tarasenko, O'Reilly reunited there on the 2nd line with Alex Tuck. 3rd line, you got John Paterka there with Kopp and Thompson. I feel like that's a nasty 3rd line. And then the 4th line here is pretty solid. Mason Appleton, Jonathan Toews, Cole Lind. Like, that's not too bad either. I noticed actually ice time allocation roll 3 lines, so they won't be playing too much, but when they're out there, should be solid. Defensively here, Owen Power, Dahlin still the top pair, getting a +3. Foot and Miller actually get a +3 as well in the 2nd pair. And then Kulikov, Bryson, no chemistry boost, but also no minus. Goaltending-wise, Ukko-Pekka now an 87. Varlamov there backing him up. So I feel like the team's looking pretty solid. Should be a playoff team next year. AHL team as well is stacked. Isaac Rosen, Frank Nazar, Jack Quinn get a +5. Like, that line's going to be nasty. Even the 2nd line there, Fabian Lysell, Peyton Krebs, Matt Cornholo gets a +1. Gauthier, Bemstrom, Amirov on the third, Olesen, Anderson, and Vesalainen on the fourth. Like, are you kidding me? Vesalainen probably should be in the top 6, but I don't know, 24 there. I'd rather look kind of young players who should have been better players, getting more ice time. Defensively, Samuelson, Nemec, Johnson, Alexeev, Clegg, and Zellweger. Like, that is a really solid defense. And of course, Levi's our starter. Harrington with the high elite, backing him up. So like I said, guys, very excited to see how both these teams play. I feel like they're looking really good. I feel like we got tons of depth. I will sim up to the preseason here just to show you guys the ratings. And I almost forgot to show you guys, we have this team with $10 million in cap space, which is pretty crazy. Also, too, Matthew Savoy's down 83, currently playing in junior. Honestly, I'm thinking I'll just leave him in junior. He's got 6 points in 2 games, averaging 3 points a game. Reason being, if Bedard wins the Calder this year, you're pretty cool to have back-to-back Calder winners. Bedard this year, Savoy next year. Also, too, like, where are you going to put him, right? Like, wasting him on the 4th line, 3rd line stack. He's not taking Bedard's spot, even though he's one overall higher. Bedard, of course, has that franchise potential. So I think we call up Savoy next year, and like the team is just going to be looking so good. So I'll show you guys the ratings here before we end the episode. I'm very curious to see how good is this team. We got 94 offense, 89 defense, 87 goaltending. So like I was saying, should be a playoff team. I see Philip Forsberg there, signed with the Red Wings. That's pretty cool. But we're going to end it there, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.